Hi everyone, I'm Ferrer Gotić. In the ever-evolving landscape of rock music, few bands manage to capture the essence of their generation quite like amongst LIARS. With their powerful sound and evocative lyrics, the band has taken the music scene by storm. Ian, Leo, Ross, James, Adam, hopefully Andy later on joining me from England. Guys, welcome to N1 and thank you for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having us.
How's everyone?
All good, yeah.
Yeah, we're very good.
Yeah, we're
yeah. You just had your tour by design and it was completed on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So how did that go? I believe you guys are all tired by now.
Yeah, I've lost my. I'm only just getting my voice back, but it was amazing. It was really good. We kind of just literally just did sort of 7 or 8 dates, and we did some acoustic installs as well. And it was literally pedal to the metal. It just went crazy, but it went so well. It was amazing. We loved it and met some great people, played some great audiences, and had a lot of fun at the same time. So yeah, can't ask for any more than that, can you?
Of course, if I'm not mistaken, I've seen you guys just pop on, just like you said, in the bookstores and did the acoustic. How did it feel like? What was the audience there? What did the people think of that? That doesn't really happen every day.
Yeah, so we wanted to mix it up and do things kind of a bit old school. And so, you know, when you have bands that kind of tour around and you play the HMV in stores, and we turned up. We didn't know what to expect either, but we had people turn up and get into it as well. And our music's kind of quite, I'd say, in your face, and so it's quite sort of unusual to actually break it down to do acoustic stuff and saying to the people as well, you know, if they're just hearing us for the first time in this acoustic install performance and they're coming along to the gig tonight, be prepared for something a bit different, I suppose. But it was amazing. It was good, and the record stores were amazing. It's good, like I said, good to do old school stuff, isn't it, guys? It was that kind of get back to proper touring, I suppose.
It sounded amazing from what I heard, and I want to give the opportunity for the guys to say something too, because I don't want them to feel like they're just the pretty boys in the background and Ian's telling the entire story, because I see Ian, you're going to be like the main character, but I'm not going to let you do that. Everything's sounding so great, and you collaborated with a lot of bands during this tour. Which one was your favorite, and how did that go? It's really cool when you can headline your entire thing. Usually the emerging bands, they start with supporting other bands, but you guys are headlining your own tour, and By Design is an amazing album. I had the opportunity to listen to it. I really love it. It's really amazing. There's so much power in it. We're gonna go into the lyrics, but how is it working with other bands, supporting you, and you guys being the headliners this time?
Yeah, it's really good because we've done nothing but support for a while, because building the profile we found is best supporting the bigger artists and on the bigger stages, and then connecting with their fans, which then you make your fans. And then we left it, I think, a good amount of time, maybe a couple of years since we just did the headline tour. And it felt like the right time with the album dropping, and then we've gone out at just the right time. And yeah, it was really amazing to see us do a headline tour, and people are turning up and selling nearly the whole room out in every city we were going to. So it's really unbelievable to see how the band's growing, and what we're doing is, you know, right, basically, and the path we're on and the plans, we're going to plan. So yeah, it's great.
Sounds amazing. It really looked amazing.
Let go your anger, forget the pain. Let go your anger. We know it's by design. Turn off the lights to see. Eyes closed when you're awake. You know that we are animals, so regret this feeling. Now fly to the vision like a moth to a light. Got this feeling. Bow down to the vision. We are thrown to the fire. No
right, so congratulations, first of all, on being named Band of the Decade. I mean, Band of the Decade. How does it feel to receive such a prestigious accolade? What does it really mean? I'll go to James.
It's massive, really. For me, I always get asked, what do you prefer, like the live performances or the songwriting? And for me, it's equal parts. And to see that the time and love and things we put into the songwriting process and just having a good time, because we're not just a band, we're friends as well. So having excellent time and things in the room, making all these different songs with all us bringing ideas to the room, and to see like the amount of other people who also love the music we create is really inspiring and really cool.
It really was cool, and it's cool that I learned about you guys through social media. Social media plays a huge role in music, and I wanna go to By Design album. I wanna talk about the lyrics, and I wanna talk about the entire process that you guys go from who's writing the lyrics, who's sending the first riff in. How does it work for you guys, and how does it end, and how does it become what it is that we already can hear? So guys, just walk me through the process of making such an amazing album By Design, and just a song like By Design itself.
It happens many different ways, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Most commonly, me and Leo will come up with a riff and then a drum beat and start making more of a structure of a song, like a skeleton. And then what we'll do is we'll get the skeleton of the song, then we'll bring it to Ross and Ian and James, and then be like, what do you think? And then they start adding their parts, which would be bass, keys. And then I suppose at the time, Ian's coming up with melodies, and then within a few weeks, he's written those melodies into lyrics, and hey presto, you've got one of our songs.
That's amazing. What's Ian, when it comes to lyric writing? We had a little chat before this program, and you told me that a lot of things that happen in your life personally has an effect in your writing. Can you give us an example of that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the whole By Design album is basically, I suppose, in a sense, my life and the things that have gone on as us as a band, and also as I suppose also in the world. And there's a lot of things about political situation in this country, for example, has been a bit, to say, turbulent, I suppose, over the last few years, as is all around the world. There's lots of stuff going on, and so it's quite easy to kind of pick up and write about those kind of things and put a spin on it. So about 3 or 4 of the tracks, like The Shameful, No Control, they're kind of about that. Other elements of like You're Not a Slave, for example, that's about bullying, and that's something that I kind of personally experienced about a year ago. And then you kind of go on to the Vice and Mind, and they're about mental health, because again, it's been sort of life's been a bit sort of up and down over the last few years, and I think it's just dipping into those things and channeling that and trying to get a positive spin on everything. So I don't want to go. I kind of like the way, I suppose, that bands like Bring Me the Horizon write, for example, and they kind of, when it's talking about mental health, they try to put, again, it's this kind of positivity, and it's saying you're not alone, and it's creating that positive message of hope, I suppose, for that. And likewise with, like, say, You're Not a Slave, and By Design, for that example, it's very much kind of getting these lyrics that come out that convey this, I suppose, hope generally, that we're all human, we're all going through the same things in life, and there are times that music can actually kind of help you connect with that, or help you kind of get through that, and it's quite kind of, it's quite enlightening and heartwarming where you have our fans come up and say, oh, your song, for example, Vice, has really helped me because I can relate to it, and that kind of brings it back, I suppose. But yeah, like I said, like in a nutshell, I suppose it's really about writing about things that are going on in the world, and these topics that kind of, I suppose, unite everyone, really, because, like I said, we're all in the same boat. Yeah,
and then the mental health conversation finally started happening in the broad daylight, and it was a taboo just a couple of years ago. It wasn't okay to not be okay, and all of a sudden, because of bands like you, because of people like you, because of lyrics that you write, and because of the interpretation of those lyrics, it becomes easier to talk about our mental health issues, and there's no shame in it. When you talk about, for example, "I'm Not a Slave," this is one of the songs that really resonated with me as well. You guys are bringing that conversation to the scene. How important is it? How many do people come to you to talk about that? Do people reveal their secrets and stories? How is it for you now that the mental health conversation is no longer taboo?
Well, it's massive for us. We don't actually really write thinking about initially how people react to it. It's very much a personal thing, I think. Ian's gone through some massive things, and me personally as well. And the other guys have been really supportive, and so we sort of just got into these songs, ourselves, and the reaction from the crowd and the fans while we've been touring has been brilliant, and it's given us a sort of a different level. What each song means a lot more to us, and it's quite special really to see what it means to people, and you don't really think about that. I didn't anyway initially. So it's been massive for us as a band, and it makes us want to carry on doing and writing more things like that. I need to know,
and our audiences across the region, they need to know, who are your biggest influences in your work? Where do you guys come from? What do you guys do? How did you guys get together, first of all? Is it 2019? Was that the year when this band assembled?
Sure was.
Yeah.
All right. Who's going to tell the story?
I'll do it if you want. There was two bands that we actually called Saint Apache and Catalina Kicks, and us three were in Saint Apache, and then our singer left, and then we were looking for a singer in 2019, and then Ian's band Catalina Kicks folded as well, so it just so happened he needed a band, so you can see what's coming. And me and Ian met over in Peacehaven, a lovely seaside town, and had a nice Costa coffee, chatted about things, our influences like Boyzone and Backstreet Boys and Spice Girls, and get off straight away. And we just found that we wanted the same thing from music, and we wanted to be successful, and we thought, let's have a jam, see how it goes, write a few songs, and then from there we wrote about 6 new tracks, reworked like 2
Amazing.
old Apache songs, and then we went and recorded, then dropped the first single in February 2020, did 1 gig in London, and then COVID, bang, done.
That's how it started. Yeah, 2019, 2020, and then that was it. I think March was when pandemic was declared. I know I was stuck in an airport somewhere between Lebanon and Istanbul. It was messy, so I get that. I completely get that. Have you guys done any international tours, or was it UK-based mostly? What have you guys done since COVID really was denounced?
We just did a French tour. So we toured France in February, and that was with Aaron Jones. So yeah, we have played outside the UK, but the last one that we just come back from was a UK tour. So yeah,
that was amazing. You still haven't answered the question. Which band did you guys really enjoyed working with? The band that was opening up for you. I've seen a couple of, and they're really all amazing, pretty much. How do you guys get into talks? Who's gonna, support you when you're headlining, and how does that work?
A duo, sort of blues, heavy rock duo. They were wicked.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
And which songs by design are you most excited to perform live, and why?
Good question.
That is a very good question.
Cut It. I like Cut It.
On the first.
Oh yeah.
We need to
love that one.
He's having a minute.
Every time we
Ian, what about you?
I'm allowed to talk now, yeah?
Yes, please.
I love doing You're Not a Slave. We open up with You're Not a Slave, and that is basically that's a kind of test for the audiences, because we like to open up and hit people in literally hard with that song. And so it's one of my favourite to sing as well, because it's like really full on in your face. Probably the fastest song that we've done. And yeah, that's my favourite. But I also love Vice and By Design as well. I love performing them all, but my favourite, like I said, is literally You're Not a Slave, because that's what we open the shows with. That's the first impression the audiences get from us, and then they usually kind of like, wow, which is that, it's great.
Most of the bands that I've spoken to, they have a day job. All right, so emerging bands in the UK, most of the members of the bands, they have a day job. Do you guys have a day job, or is this what you're doing? How do you balance work and life, and like how does it work for you, Ian?
Yeah, I'm sort of between day jobs at the moment, so I'm doing music full time at the moment, and which is quite lucky because I do other stuff in music as well. I do some other writing and some other kind of singing, but obviously not. This is my main outlet for the Amongst Liars, and so I'll do it until my money runs out, basically, and then I've just got something else. But you know, it's what it is. But you put yourself out there and you do what it is, and then see what comes back, I guess.
All right, the rest of the boys. Leo, what about you?
I teach people to drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't drive.
Up the walk. He's in the mood now.
And I think that understanding of your passions that you have, that you do is so important when you have the other side, just understanding what you're all about. What about you guys?
I have a carpentry company, so trying to juggle that with the band can be a lot, but you've just got to make it happen.
I'm in the same situation as Ian, sort of just putting it all into music at the moment, and yeah, sort of just trying to sort of get all the cash together for that, really.
That's amazing. And you guys work so well together. Tell me about Andy. He's very involved with you for quite some time. How does it work? How is the dynamics with Andy and with everyone else? Because I have a feeling that Andy is really keeping you guys in check when, you know, you guys are touring, you guys are somewhere out of town. That's how it seems. I don't know, I might be wrong.
Yeah, he tries. He's the adult. Yeah, he loves it, yeah. He loves coming along.
Do we tell about the Sheffield experience? Was that?
Are you sure you want to tell it?
I was trying to get to sleep after a really long day. I will be traumatized by the sound of clapping for the rest of my life.
Ain't nothing but a minute stay.
Tell me why.
I never want to hear you say it.
I want it that way.
This violence, this silence, to know it all. Pray, lead us astray. Pray, just come in. Pray, lead us astray. Pray, just come in.
We stayed in the hotel, and he was like, "Yeah, he's so happy because he's got a room to himself. He booked it. We're all sharing together. He didn't get one wink of sleep.
He booked it.
He booked it.
Hey, he booked it himself, so he can't complain really.
No.
it. I see no end in sight from lights on the horizon. All this indecision, blindness, blackout vision, no sense of any answers takes me to this place. Don't go looking for forgiveness in the echoes of your mind. Take a breath and fall in line. Rip me open, leave me dry. Paranoia's on the line. No illusion, my old friend. Don't deny this, don't deny this fight.
You guys seem to have a lot of fun. This is what, you know, we can see it through social media. You guys are having a lot of fun, but you guys are also working really hard. Tell me about the challenges that you have faced as an emerging band and band that you are now, and how have you overcome them? You know, if there's a specific challenge that you had to overcome, what would that be? One thing that you would think, oh, crap, you know, we had to go through this.
I guess from my perspective, that's the fact that we're doing this ourselves. We decided not to go down the route of a record company at our stage, so we're doing everything ourselves. And so financially, music is tough. But again, we love doing it, and we make things work. You know, we put up, we overcome those challenges, I suppose, by investing in what we do and working really hard, and it makes us work twice as hard, I think, than other people. If we were signed to a small record label or a big record label, there's a tendency, I suppose, to sit back from experience. Whereas if you're doing this is your business, this is your life, and everything on the line, and you're in charge of it. That to me is like the biggest challenge. But it brings the greatest reward, because everything we've achieved so far in the kind of 4 years we've been together is being done, I suppose, by ourselves and the hard work we've put in as a collective, really. So it was a challenge. There's always a positive, I suppose. How
important is it then, Ian, to think, you know, to understand the business side of the music industry for bands, especially when you say, you know, the finances, the financial side, we still have to pay everything ourselves. We're not. I mean, why don't you want to be signed by a label? Are the downsides? Is something that we are not understanding? What do you need to do in order to? I mean, why is it the way it is? You know what I mean?
Yeah, from my perspective, I've been signed to labels before, and there's positives and there's negatives to it. But we decided that obviously we'd wait to grow ourselves to the point that we'd be able to get a decent kind of deal, I suppose, because you can get signed to a label, and there's lots of bands that get signed and then they get shelved, and nothing happens, or they don't get the right support, and then they lose the rights to their music. Which means if you go and you're creating all this music and spending the time and money, and then someone takes something away from you that's yours, it's very personal, I suppose. And so that's why we've got everything ourselves, that we can then decide, I suppose, later on down the line what we do with it. But at the moment, we kind of made the collective decision that we kind of just do this ourselves in our own way, and we can have complete control over it. Prince did that. Look, he didn't turn out bad, did he? So.
I've also seen and spoken to a couple of more bands. Devala was one of the bands that I've spoken to, and they said, you know, we were approached by a record by a label. They wanted to sign us. They would come to our gigs, but then we didn't have 50K followers on Instagram or on TikTok, and that mattered something. So numbers over the quality of music. You know, like when you say, you know, we understand the business and we want to finance it ourselves so we can keep the essence of our music in our own hands, it makes a lot of sense. What inspired, this is just like out of nowhere question, what inspired the name Amongst Liars, and how does it reflect on your music and your ethos?
Because I was the latest addition to the band. I only joined last year with the creation of the By Design album. I wasn't involved in the first album. So from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong here, and you boys, but they tried to find a word which had like an initial of all their names. So the word liars came out of Leo, Ian, Adam, and Ross. Unfortunately, I came along a bit later with a J, which going to sport that a little bit. But the name stuck.
Your name is Simon.
I always felt like a Simon.
I never thought that would be like that.
That situation, we had a Facebook Messenger chat, which when I was working, it was we're basically creating a name in a Facebook Messenger chat. I missed the whole thing about the names, and then I just saw LIARS and I said amongst, so everyone was like, that's cool, and then
it's really
moved
cool.
on from there. A year later, we're getting interviewed, and then these guys said, oh, because it was what James said, it was the initials. I didn't even know that until like a year later.
You're just learning this, right? What advice would you guys give now from this perspective that you went through all the drill? What advice would you give to other emerging artists trying to make a name for themselves?
Don't give up.
Start an OnlyFans account.
And don't give up.
Don't give up.
I just want to go back to, because mental health is so important. I just want to talk about pressures just a little bit, and then I'll let you guys go. How do you guys handle the pressures, expectations that come along, with being labeled as one of the best emerging bands, as parents, as having a day job, as being in public service, as not having a job, quitting their jobs? How do you put it all together and just walk through life? I'll start with Ian. Let's go like this.
I just take things as they come, really. I'm very much I just believe in what you put into something, you get out, you get back. And so I've always been like that, and I've always been trying to keep positivity about everything, and just, I mean, we work really well together, the five of us, and it's an outlet, but it's also, it's passion, and it's something that just keeps me going as well as everything else, so that's me. I love you guys.
Oh.
I love you guys.
Oh. James, what about you?
I love being busy. So although I'm doing the music, I've got a million other hobbies I like to do, such as looking after my plants and growing stuff and doing painting. So I'm always doing stuff anyway, got the day job. And then, but the thing is, as Ian alluded to, although it's busy, I love every moment of it. For example, my dad's been under very poor health lately. In the past few weeks, I've been hospital visits and things endlessly and whatnot. So that was getting. So I had to take some special leave from work. But when he got released from the hospital and things, and he got a bit more to a stable place again, which was great. And then I got in the van with the boys because I was worried, like, what if I can't make the tour because of my dad's health. But then got in the van with the boys after making sure he was okay. And although lots of people said to me, like, how can you handle that? I was actually so relieved. It's like, I was going to spend the next first leg of the tour with these boys and have a fantastic time doing stuff which I love, which is the music. And for me, it's almost like a holiday, just exploring different parts of England I've never been before. So yeah, every moment of it.
When you do something you love, it's just everything's worth it. And we wish the best to your dad. That was really nice. What about you guys? What about Leo?
I think it's important that you have something to look forward to all the time. Like, it could be anything, but when you're in a band, you know that you're always going to be looking forward to that band situation. Like, it could be a gig or it could be rehearsal.
Is that the one thing, Leo, that you when you just go through a day and you think, oh, we're having a gig this weekend and I'm really looking forward to that. Is that the one thing for you that you go like, okay, this is uplifting, this really uplifts me?
I think I've said, like, the one place where I would say is the ultimate place where is pure happiness, or like where nothing else will ever come into my head, is when I'm on stage. So if I'm on stage, the whole set, it's just, that's the only thing I think about. So any dark times I've been through, and if I get on stage, everything just goes out. And so to know that you're doing it, anything but like day to day, it's worth it. You know, like work and stuff. It's like if you know you're doing this and music is what you love, so it's just. Yeah, it makes it worth it, basically.
So the pictures that we see of you guys are really genuine, because when I hear you talk like that, Leo, and we see those pictures, which are really amazing, and you can see that you are in complete trance when you're on stage, it's genuine. All right, that's really good to know. It's really good to know. What about you, blue shirt?
A blue shirt here. Well, basically, when now. I was actually pretty ill for sort of 2 years as the band started, and so just kind of everything's a bit of a bonus for me at the moment. Just enjoying every moment with this band and these guys, because when it all started, I was not in a great place. So I as a result, I particularly don't have any pressure on me or feel it, because it's just all a bonus.
And what about you?
I think life for everybody is busy. It's a struggle, and I just find that music is everything I'm passionate for, and I've always known. And just getting on that stage, it just feels like home. So it's just the best place in the world. So it's something to look forward to, even when you're having a bad day and you know that that's coming. It just makes life that much brighter.
And you guys just gonna be together, right? You're gonna assemble again. You're gonna be together and just go through it. And I saw you guys have a lot of fun while driving to a gig, driving to a different city, about your biggest fears. You guys talk about all these little things that your fans really enjoy.
down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf, bring down the wolf machine. Bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf machine, bring down the wolf.
We're definitely getting a fresher perspective from the tour manager himself. Andy is with us from London. Hi, Andy. Welcome to N1. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. No problem.
It's really good to have you here. You missed the collective conversation, with the collective. You were stuck in traffic. I can imagine how that is in London, but thank you very much for joining. So I want to go back to the beginning, what we talked about. First of all, how is it? I mean, you've been together with the guys from Amongst Liars for quite some time, and you're the manager now, of the tour manager. Tell me, how is it working with these guys, which, you know, our audiences can already establish that it's probably really crazy.
It is crazy, but it's really good fun. It's like having 5 kids who can drink and get into trouble. And, you know, it's okay to get them from A to B, make sure they're fed, they're watered, they've had somewhere nice to sleep. It doesn't matter where I sleep. and they get on stage and do their 60-minute set in front of everyone that loves them.
And they love you. But let's talk about the band itself. Being the band, they have won the Band of the Decade. How does it really feel for you to be part of that? And how does it feel to receive such an important accolade?
I think it's incredible for them. I did their first tour in 2021. They were brave enough to go out on a headline tour, and I promoted it. And on the night that they won Band of the Year in 2021-22. They played to a sold-out show of their hometown. You know, and it's like, it doesn't happen for a band of their size in 21. And from then on, they've just gone from strength to strength to strength, culminating in this last tour a few weeks ago, where they played to packed out venues. And everybody loves them.
I mean, we've seen that. We've seen the footage. We've seen the supporting bands as well, and it's just the energy that they have. When you say the band of their size, they're definitely on their path to become this big size, this magnitude band of an amazing levels, that they will reach amazing levels. What do you think about that? How will that happen? What are your projections as a tour manager, as someone who's been working with them for quite some time and knowing everything that is going on behind the scenes as well?
They do it because they've got immense talent. Each individual member has got their own personality, and that shines through within the songwriting and also within the live performance. People always say, wow, what a good show. People always say, wow, I love that song. I love what you did with that song. They've got something. It's on one for a way of saying that's some level of X factor, but they've got it, and they plough their own furrow with it. So they don't jump on anyone's bandwagon. They don't say we want to be like this band or that band. They are unique in their talent and their personalities.
They're definitely unique, and so are you. And am I sensing Northern English accent? It's like I'm talking to a Scottish person, to be honest with you. I think you're somewhere north. I'm sure.
You're talking to someone from Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Switch off the hate, let go the feeling, forget the shame, as tears fall down, leave it all behind. Behind those eyes,
I want to go back to what the band said. About you being you being the adult. Of course, we've seen Leo laughing to that statement. So I want to go back to that. Before we do that, I would like you to hear what they had to say about you. Now, pay attention to their faces. Let's hear it.
Okay.
How is the dynamics with Andy and with everyone else? Because I have a feeling that Andy is really keeping you guys in check when, you know, you guys are touring, you guys are somewhere out of town. That's how it seems. I don't know, I might be wrong.
Yeah, he tries. He's the adult in them. Yeah, he loves it. Yeah, he loves coming along.
Do we tell about the Sheffield experience? Was that?
No, I don't know anything about it. Are you sure you want to tell it?
turn off the lights to see.
Andy, is there something you want to tell us about the Sheffield experience?
I have a brief when I book hotels for them. My brief is they have to have a car park so we can park the van, and they have to be within kind of like distance to the venue or to the centre of the city we're in. And so I booked a hotel in Sheffield with a car park, tick. Send close to the centre of Sheffield, tick. Close to the venue, tick. And yeah, we arrived there and it seemed pretty seedy kind of thing. I have a track record of booking for really weird hotels, and I don't mean to. So the tour in 21, we had what we termed the sex hotel. which was, yeah, it was a strange swingers kind of place. And
Good Lord.
I vowed I'd never read the book anywhere like that again. And we turn up in Sheffield. And I have room 708. Ian and Ross have room 706. Adam and Leo have 702. And James and Duncan had a room further down the corridor. And that was all fine. We played the gig. We went off to the club night. I went home slightly earlier than the boys. They were all safe. They were all getting Ubers back to the hotel. And room 710 was, I don't know how to translate this. Room 710 was a knocking shop. I was trying to get to sleep after a really long day from driving from Leicester first thing and then coming, doing a whole gig in Sheffield. And I will be traumatized by the sound of clapping for the rest of my life.
Isn't this a good lesson for you to go and really check what are you booking before you actually book it? But you know, I think the guys will agree with me to say, well, at least Andy's traumatized. We're fine. We're just fine.
Yeah.
It's us that we have to go on the stage, not Andy. So good luck with that, though.
Exactly. Exactly. And that was always like, so they sound checked the next day, and they traumatized me further because basically during the sound check, the kick drum, on the kick drum sound check, it's just the noise of the banging noise like that. And they announced it to the whole venue that actually, this was Andy's night last night. That's all he heard was just incessant banging for 8 hours.
We're going to be nice to you tonight. Tell me, I didn't get this from the boys because they were just goofing around for an hour. So I'm really just wondering what is next for amongst LIARS? What are the next tour dates? Is there a new tour coming up? What's next for them? How are you guys moving forward from, you know, finishing the By Design tour, completing it successfully, and just going forward?
What's next? They've got a few dates left to play in the UK this year, and then potentially we're looking at funding for within the next 24 months for the United States and or Southern Europe.
Conquering America, aren't you?
Yeah, it'd be nice, but it's been costed up as like just over £50,000.
Oh, just
so
over.
A Southern European tour might be marginally cheaper.
I am looking forward to seeing Metallica supporting you as headliners, so that's going to be interesting to see. I'm rooting for you guys. I'm rooting for you guys. Andy, I want to know more about you. I've asked the boys this as well. I call them the boys because they're just so funny, but they're men. They're grown-up men. I
call them the boys too.
The boys. They all have, except for Ian, they all have a day job that they have to share with their passion and going back on stage and doing music. Are you doing the same too? I mean, what does your life look like besides when it comes to, organizing the tour or gigs for amongst LIARS?
Yeah, I've got a day job too. I work in the English NHS. So I look at process and I improve it, and I break it down and put it back together. I improve patient pathways. So I've got a pretty responsible job. And yeah, outside of that, I go on tour with delinquents and lunatics.
That is absolutely amazing, especially knowing what's going on in NHS, not only in England but also Scottish NHS. I think it's hard work. All the people who work within NHS, I think they are heroes. They are heroes, and it's really good to know this about you. And we can see that within your demeanor, you have that something. You're definitely not a person that will book 708 in Sheffield on purpose. On purpose. I don't know. Maybe you did. Maybe you did. Maybe you did. Maybe you just fooled everyone.
I end up having these little adventures, and every tour's got a tour story where we end up in some sort of scrape. And yeah, this time it was me.
One more thing. from the perspective of a tour manager, from the perspective from someone who works so close with the band members, having to know their personal things, what they like, what they don't like, their likes and dislikes, what would you advise, what your advice would be for the emerging bands that are trying to reach and make name for themselves out there, especially in the UK, and especially when you see what's been going on since Brexit and how things changed, especially when you want to go out and you really want to promote your music. What would your advice be for the emerging bands of that kind?
To be honest, don't pay someone to play somewhere. Find a really good tour manager, find someone who you trust, and work with them. Don't believe people's promises, because 9 times out of 10 they've got their fingers in your till and they'll take your income from you.
I think we needed you. I think we needed your perspective on this one, definitely. Andy, I just want to thank you for your time, for speaking to us. I want to thank you for just giving us that different perspective of how it is being on tour and working with such amazing artists, such talent from a perspective of a tour manager, of a manager, of someone who is really close to the boys. Andy, thank you so much, and we'll be definitely checking up on you.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Where's the hair and makeup, please?
Yeah, where is the?
Yeah, where's the hair and makeup?
Yeah, where's ours?
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a mistake.
Tell me why.
I never want to hear you say it.
I want it that way. Bye, everyone. And all right, thank you.